This is episode 275, I believe. Monday night, a bunch of news. What else we got? News, market report, comic book pickups, Heroes con review, some sad news as well. We're going to start it off here in a minute, and we're going to go. So let's do this, and we'll catch everybody soon. I'll start this off very sadly with two passings that we kind of had last week. So we'll start off with let me get all this stuff together and we can talk about it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Last week, I believe, right? It was June 13th last week. Yep. So obviously, John Romita, JR, said his father passed away last week. So obviously, condolences out to that family. Huge inspiration, obviously, in the comic book realm and market and everything, and his contributions to comic book legacy and his artwork are amazing. I'm sure everyone grew up with him. Obviously, do you guys have any JR or JR Romita like sketches or anything? I don't have a signature either.
I don't have anything, but I was fortunate enough to meet him when I was younger. He was a regular at Heroes Con back in the day, so definitely got to meet him when I was a kid. So yeah, my condolences to his family. I impress this upon anyone and everyone who is a part of this hobby and cares, and you care about the people who were the founders of comic book geekdom as we know it. Get out to cons, get out and see these guys. They ain't no younger. And even if you don't buy anything from them, I'll speak on that in the con report of being at Heroes. Just go up and tell them what they meant to you. It does mean a lot to them, being your artwork defined my childhood. Your stories are what got me in the comics and kept me interested in reading them. So yeah, it means a lot to these guys to just let them know and give them their flowers while they're still here. So definitely, if you get a chance and get to a con and you know that somebody you really care about, artistically or creatively is getting up there in some age, just go to the booth, say thank you, tell them a story about how their work affected your life.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they put in long hours and stuff like that, and it means a lot to them. I mean, if that's it, that's their job to be impressionists of young children and stuff. I mean, it goes a long way. That's what I was saying. Obviously, hey, our favorite guy finally shows up for a podcast, so I appreciate it. Hey, another sad, devastating news story of the week. Last week, a close personal friend of the podcast, Mr. Mikey Halperin, passed away last week. He was a regular, obviously, on VHS tape heads. He was a regular, an early contributor of Nico's interview process and the interviews that he does. Conversations with Nico, a true friend of the podcast. His contributions and connections, obviously, with Heritage, and we always bring him up. He used to talk about the animation stuff and the anime stuff with us. When it comes to that kind of thing, it was very sad that we talked about this, and we got this news last week. I didn't post anything about it. I took the man behind the red hood's Instagram post because he did a wonderful post about it. Obviously, this is Mikey. Mikey was I've been telling everybody we were playing checkers and he was playing chess. He was one of the smartest guys in the room. The guy was just unbelievable, and just sad days. So, Carter, George, you wanna chime in anything?
Yeah, for sure. George.
I mean, I don't know if I told you guys about the first time I met Mikey.
No. I don't think so. Go for it.
I was at Baltimore Comic Con, and there's the Bender cover, right? And then there's a couple timely early Marvel Mystery Comics, and they're beautiful. And I'm on the floor trying to like count money to figure out what I can afford, how much I can offer. And Mikey walks up and is like, "I'll take that. Just, I mean, done quick, right?" Before I could even figure out what was going on one book, he made $40,000.
Wow.
And he had this like pretty little Asian girl behind him that I presumed was his girlfriend, who he just had like write the check for whatever price he had negotiated. And I found out later that it was like his handler. So we like chatted up later, and him and a couple of the other guys are going out. You know, I stopped drinking a long time ago, and I'm like, oh, I'll stay behind. And I see them coming in the next morning, and he just looks like fucking devastated, right? And I run into the little Asian girl, and I was like, oh yeah, I saw Mikey this morning. He looked terrible. And she's like, Mikey never looks bad. He looked wonderful. And I was like, he's got like a hot female Lloyd. Like, is this fucking real life? Like, who is this guy? So I started talking to him more, and I realized that like he was just like Dino said, smarter than everybody else, more fun than everybody else. He was just larger than life, and had a heart as big as the room, and would help anyone with anything. I mean, his favorite thing to do would be just like, let's split the book. We'll go 50-50. And
dude,
we'll see if we can make money on it, or, you know, split the tape or whatever the hell it was. He was never looking to take advantage of anybody, just really looking to give, whether that was like knowledge, you know, or just, you know, letting people know that the hobby is wonderful, and that they should have fun doing it 100% of the time. And I feel like I'm a better person for having known Mikey Halperin. I miss him.
Yeah, very well said.
I'll tell you what, of all the shows that I may be on in a week, Tapeheads was the one I look forward to the most. And Mikey was the reason for it. He had an energy that was infectious, and to be able to get any type of information from him, because he had a lot of information to give, you know, and to just learn from him. This young kid, I'm old as hell, but to learn from be able to learn from this young kid is it was something else. And in the year of interactions that I've had with him, you know, it was enriching,
yeah,
for the lack of a better term. And it's jarring. It still doesn't feel real, because there was a time where, you know, he wasn't in the group chat, you know, for however many months, and then he pops back up and interacts with everyone. And I remember posting a tape in the group chat to see, you know, is this the real deal or not? And he responded, you know, and I was like, oh, yes. You know, I got Mikey to, you know, be like, yeah, all right, you did good.
Yeah. And
I don't even think 2 days later, you get the news, and that was just, you know, it just was like, okay, this is so not maybe it's another Mikey.
Yeah.
But it can't be ours, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, it's still I'm still kind of like, damn, really? It can't be, you know. But yeah, I'm glad to have known him. I'm glad to have been able to interact with him, even if for a short time.
I'm gonna miss the flippantness of Mikey, like when we would just talk about some stupid tape, and he's like, you know, it's just this, like, you know, like it was like this. It wasn't. I know he wasn't inconvenienced by it. It just seemed like he was mildly irritated about our innate knowledge of anything VHS tapes. And he was like, yeah, you guys are idiots. But I love Mikey to death. You know, and like George said, he's always all about, you know, cool things. He was never that guy who would even though if he was smarter than you, like try to put you down in any kind of any kind of situation.
No, he had no pretense to him at all.
Yeah, in a hobby filled with shitbags who like are better than.
Yeah.
It was never one of them, right?
No.
It was always sort of like, how do I lift people up? How do
I mean, this kid had fucking original art in his fucking bathroom, like just chilling on the sink. Like he's like, yeah, it's just original art, like Hero for Hire #1.
I spotted the Hero for Hire artwork in the bathroom, and I was just like, is that fucking real? You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't even handle it. I couldn't even handle it. He's just like, oh yeah, no big deal. My other bathroom has. He's like Donald Trump, right? Like you have the fucking all the boxes in his bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, the other bathroom had like $500,000 worth of VHS tapes. He's like, just ran out of space, and just had to store them there.
Yeah. I was talking to Charles, our boy Charles from VHS Tape Heads, and he's like, yeah, he went to his house, dude. It was just crazy, man. He just has fucking shit ton of money and VHS tapes in a bathroom somewhere. It's just astonishing the shit he was doing, And I mean, the funny thing with Mikey was like he's the comic guy, right? And then he just kind of was like one of the forefront people with tapes, and he just all in, dude. Like I've never seen somebody just switch from one and just go to the other, and like, yeah, dude, I'm just on this, and like I guess what would you call it, a serial pundit of VHS tapes right to the end, man. Like he was all about it, and I was like, wow, that just like who collected tapes? Like nobody was collecting tapes, and then all of a sudden Mikey starts collecting tapes and just goes crazy,
Yeah, I mean, I'll mention my one Mikey story. Like I didn't get a chance. Like I watched him, I heard stories, and then I got a chance to meet him at I want to say it was San Diego of last year. And I was just like, hey, and like he recognized me from the historical Tales of the Flipside show channels, and he was like, yeah, he was like, George mentioned that we should probably do something together, and I was like, yeah, I'm down for it, but again, I was like, I'm nobody really, and his name and his family was one of those known entities. So with him, just like George said, like it was never an air of superiority. It was just like, hey, you're in the hobby, you're talking about cool stuff. I want to talk about cool stuff with people who want to talk about cool stuff, and it was just never. And I kicked myself for never like following up on that and reaching out. Like I had it, like when I found out he passed, I took my phone and I was like, I had his contact information. I just never reached out about us doing something together just to have more conversation with him. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to my point I was making about John Romita. It's like give people their flowers while they're still here. Like take the opportunity to interact with people and like tell people like what they mean to you while they're still here, because it does a lot more good talking about them to their face than when they're gone. And so that's my little piece of it, not knowing Mikey super well, but just if there's somebody out there that you care about, like don't hesitate to pick up the phone or like to send them a text message and to see how they're doing, or because you don't want to be in this scenario where you're wishing that you had reached out or you had said the thing or whatever it may be.
Yeah. No, very well said. I reached out to a couple of guys who are at obviously Heritage, and sent my condolences and all that stuff. Like Vancouver Comic Junkie said, we are all lesser without Mikey in the world. I mean, that's true. I mean, we are. It's having a resource taken away way too early, way too young is just a shitty day at the office. Let's just put it that way, boys. So, obviously, I don't like to publicize on our own channel, but if you didn't know Mikey or you knew some of Mikey, go ahead and go look back at Tapehead. You'll see his brilliance in Tapeheads and conversations with Nico and other things on the channel. Just a pleasure to talk to, the man. So obviously a legend in the game, even though he's only 27, so.
I let him know that he was the MVP.
Yeah. His if there was a comic book Hall of Fame, his jersey would be in the rafters, So it's a sad day for us. So. Moving on from that, two terrible stories we had to deal with this week. I feel kind of bad about this. Just moving on to Craven. So Craven, the official trailer for Craven dropped. The Hunter. So when he dropped it, what Chris this week?
It dropped I want to say at 2 p.m. East Coast time today.
Yeah. So I didn't. I'm gonna selfishly say I didn't watch it. Did you watch it, Chris? What did you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was sitting in the doctor's office and I was like, I got time to kill. Honestly, I hate to say it, but it reminds me so much of Morbius from a not necessarily that it's inherently going to be bad, but like them trying to make a character that is clearly a villain into more of a anti-hero scenario.
Mm-hmm.
The effects and everything. I mean, like even to the point where there's a scene in the trailer where he is doing like an animalistic like crawl pounce off from wall to wall down a hallway attacking. I was like, didn't they do that with Morbius? Didn't that same thing happen with a dark hallway where Morbius is like in the dark, like cutting from wall to wall, and it's only being slightly illuminated by gunshots? I was like, they're aping themselves at this point. I mean, I really hope it would be worthwhile, but again, how do you tell this story, not have him inherently be a villain, turn him into an anti-hero? Oh, and also don't include Spider-Man in it as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I mean, I'm not going to count it out completely, but Sony has unfortunately shown us that the Sony piloted live action stuff that they do nowadays just isn't really worth going to see. Except for if you just like Venom a lot, which those have been entertaining, but generally speaking, Morbius wasn't anything to write home about. And then also the villain in this is the Rhino. And they like, so you get the final clip is, the voice, the actor being like, do you want to know why they call me the Rhino? When he starts to transform, and then they cut the black. So, and again, I'm just like, all right, so you're setting up this like kind of weird Sinister Six, but not with Spider-Man as the driving force behind the group. And I'm just like, how is that really going to work? So that's my 2 cents about Craven the Hunter. So, I mean, maybe it'll help people move Rhino books and Craven books. So.
I mean, I don't know. Let me put these two together over here. I'll talk about Flash next week because I don't want to have any spoilers. So we'll talk about Flash next week. No big deal. Mortal Kombat 2's coming out. Little sequel action. Obviously, these people were cast. This is a better picture. I don't know. I mean, I didn't watch the first one. I'm a terrible human being, probably, for not watching it.
What first one? The one from '95?
The 2021 one.
Yeah, the 2021 that nobody saw.
Well, I saw the one in '95 in the theaters.
Same.
But
I think I saw it when I was 10 with my grandpa, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first one of these, like it had so much promise on paper, and I blame WB. There's a lot of factors at WB that I blame for why that movie wasn't successful. The fact that they were trying to get subscribership on HBO Max, now Max, and so they were dumping movies like crazy over there. They were trying to keep the budget down, so they definitely cut some corners here and there. I don't see him on this list. Oh yeah, there's Cole. So Cole, who was like the everyman character that they used to try and bring us into this world of mysticism and magic, he didn't work super well. The costume that he had looked janky at times. The same thing happened with Sub-Zero's mask. It was ill-fitting. It clearly was like, a flexible, rubbery foam type stuff, because there's times when he would turn his face and it would like buckle and bend weird. And same thing would happen with Cole's body armor that was supposed to be metallic. I was just like, so hopefully they invest more heavily and make sure that doesn't happen. Hopefully they actually tell the story. Like the last one was basically a more kind of prequel. So it was like the tournament didn't even happen in the movie. Like it was a pre-fight of basically Shang Tsung trying to like just eradicate all of Earth's fighters so that there was nobody to defend Earthrealm in the tournament period. So he was trying to break the rules. And so this movie, I think, is going to actually be the tournament movie, because that's why they have to pad out the cast so greatly.
Yeah, AKA the quest with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah. And nothing else, I'm super excited for Carl Urban, Johnny Cage. Like that's just that right there alone. I am super excited about. Looks like they de-aged. No, it's the same actor from the last time with Shang Tsung. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I will give it a chance because again, I am a diehard fan of this franchise because of the video games as a kid, and they're also coinciding it with a new Mortal Kombat game release coming out in the next couple months.
Mhm.
So it's just we'll see what happens. But I mean, fingers crossed it'll be better than what the first one was.
Cool.
I want a sealed Mortal Kombat from '93. That's what I want.
VHS?
No. Game.
Oh,
NES
that.
or Sega.
Genesis. I had a Genesis.
I had
growing
the
up.
Genesis too, man.
I was also just
Wow.
a kid, so yeah, that would be pretty cool to have.
So somebody has an 8.5 right now. It's on bid right now. It's got 14 hours left, Carter, and there's one for $5,000 for 9.6. Jesus. Yeah. Wow.
Damn.
So that's interesting. And the CGC one's it is Genesis. So maybe you get a good deal on that 8.5. Maybe. It's on eBay. It's on the bay, right?
I'll look one up. We'll see.
Oh,
I need to start going to video game conventions.
There's one in me. I think maybe.
There's one coming up in about a month, and then there's one at the IX Center in Cleveland, like our super massive convention center. Like I think in September.
Okay.
So
Maybe
we'll
I'll
see
go
what's
with you on that one. I want to go to there's a oddity and curiosity kind of expo. My wife wants to go to that. We'll probably go to that. It'll be interesting. I've never been to one of those. What else we got here? One Piece trailer, Netflix live action adaptation sets sail and gets a release date. Now, I'm not a good person because I didn't add what the release date was. But
What the fuck is One Sale?
One Piece. So One Piece is one of those like classic animes of the late '90s, early 2000s. I think is when it came out.
Mhm.
I want to say, was One Piece one of the big three? Yeah, there's a moniker that's given to the anime at that time that's referred to as the big three. Actually, no, One Piece was not one of the big three. I think it was Bleach, Naruto, and what was the third one? Actually, it might have been One Piece. But yeah, so basically it's one of those like quintessential animes that like you can only basically piss people off by trying to turn to live action. The trailer looks good, surprisingly.
So this is coming out August 31st, and this rounds about their whole adaptation for live action. It included Death Note film, Cowboy Bebop, and My Hero Academy, and another version of Death Note. So Netflix is trying to corner that market of live action adaptations.
And they've got very shitty success rate at this point. But from again, I started like actually during the pandemic, I started trying to like watch all of One Piece, but like it is legitimately one of the longest running. Because it was during that heyday when basically your show would come on daily.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was during that time period where creators anime creators were legitimately killing themselves trying to put out enough episodes to cover an entire season. And for all the arcs that it had, like there's something around like a couple thousand episodes, I think, of this thing. So I was just like, I got like 100 in, and I was just like, I got other shit to do. But it's one of the great ones. And from the people I know who are hardcore and watch it in its entirety, they are vaguely optimistic because there's a lot to go wrong with this. Like if you couldn't get Cowboy Bebop right, there's a lot of characters that have very unique looks to them, very unique voices. There's humor in this that is very specific to One Piece that just may not translate to live action. So there's a lot that can go wrong. Like somebody made a comment, they would have been safer doing Naruto live action because at least everybody there looks human. Like so they showed what's his name, Buggy. In the trailer, he's like this clown pirate, and he looks absurd, but it at least works. But yeah, there's a lot more likelihood that's going wrong than going right, unfortunately.
I got this coming up. It's so everybody's like, what's this? So basically, Marvel Studios announces updates to all these nice titles, and I will do a better job at this. Hopefully, look at this, bam, bam. So there we go. So basically, these are the old dates. These are new dates. So Captain America: Brave New World, previously dated for May 3rd, going to come out July 26th of 24. So everything's a couple months delayed, except for
except for Deadpool got bumped up.
Yes. So, which is surprising. And then this one, obviously, the bigger delay, right? Obviously, with all the director changes and all this shit. I mean, we all know that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it looks like Kang Dynasty got bumped out a year. Secret Wars got
pushed a year.
Yeah.
It's gonna get bumped out of the memory hole, and then they can name it something else.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, that was the big conversation. So I was at Heroes Con weekend, which we'll go into more later. But like that was one of the big conversations there, because one of the books I was cycling for Trade Bay was in Avengers 8 9.2, and a lot of booths were just like, I want the book, but I'm worried that they may scrap it. And I'm just like, well, the likelihood of them straight up scrapping the Kang story arc, I don't think is going to happen. The fact that Jonathan Major may be unemployed definitely will probably happen. But honestly, I mean, we're not talking about the Flash this week, but I mean, I think the Flash may have made enough money for Ezra Miller to still have a job going forward. So who knows what Marvel will do with Jonathan Majors, unless he gets arrested and goes to jail, and then they can't do shit. So.
I got this, and then we'll talk about Heroes. Stranger Things season 5 adds Linda Hamilton to the cast, so hopefully that warms up some Stranger Things books. If people are sitting on Stranger Things books, or
there's Stranger Things books,
I guess. Man.
Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Oh,
there was one actually from here, from San Diego. There was an 11 like spin-off story that they did that had an original Jenny Friesen like print that came up with it. Like I think got one, I got one. You can only order it from Dark Horse while you were at the booth, and they would ship it to your house. That didn't sell pretty damn well. Like, those fans are mighty. But yeah, it was called like Stranger Things like 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was a Jenny Friesen, and it was Jenny Friesen cover of 11, with the short hair and the blood drop from the nose.
Let's see if there's any on the old bay.
Yeah, so there we go. Somebody split them up, so there's some book and there's some print. But yeah, I mean, that sold pretty well. I mean, that was like, I think maybe $60 together, and you were easily clearing over, 200 at the time that they came out. They were pretty limited.
Yeah. Look at Jenny. She's so nice. She signed it for him.
What year are they in now? Like, have they hit the 90s yet?
I've missed season 3. I haven't even watched. I'm a loser.
No. What Master of Puppets was the big song of last season. So when did Master of Puppets come out? And I'll be able to tell you roughly what time period they're in. So 86.
Okay.
Roughly 86, 87 is where they're at now, using Master of Puppets as a pinpoint.
And all Metallica's like, we don't care. Everybody come be part of Metallica.
Oh no, they leaned into it. Like they leaned. I'm not sure, like if you guys saw that stuff, but like they had the guy who played Eddie come. Like he learned how to actually play the guitar solo from Master of Puppets and got to play it for them. And then they gave him a custom guitar, like a custom Gibson guitar, done in the artwork of the Upside Down. Like they really leaned into like how much people fell in love with that guitar solo in that season.
Yeah, this is part of it too, just to lean in a little bit. Yeah, he actually, you guys aren't messing around. So
yeah. So this is the scenario where he got to play Master of Puppets for them.
Yeah. So I don't want to play it because of kicking shot to YouTube. But
if you flip to the end, you'll see them handing him the guitar or somewhere in there. Yeah, there we go. That's them giving him the guitar and then signing it.
Right there. Sick.
Right
Put
on.
shit up on eBay.
But yeah, I mean, them adding Linda Hamilton is just playing off of more of the 80s, early 90s nostalgia of it. And honestly, I don't think I've ever seen Linda Hamilton do anything other than Terminator in like my lifetime. So it'd be nice to see her have another role besides just being, from Terminator at this point.
I remember she was in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
I think late 80s, early 90s.
that is correct. Look at you, 87
Yes.
and 90. Look at you.
Yes, you are right. And
I used to love that show. Yeah.
But that was like right after Terminator, but I can't do anything else.
I don't remember.
Dante's Peak.
Who the hell was she in Dante's Peak?
Rachel Wando. I
don't even remember her character from Dante's Peak. Jesus.
Gears 5. She did video game stuff. Interesting. Big City Greens. That's kind of cool. Yeah, she was in Chuck for 12 episodes. Superman, Return of Black Adam. A lot of voice work. It looks like voice.
Yeah, like she did something. She was on Weeds for a little bit, but yeah. So generally speaking, though, like her role as Sarah Connor has defined her career post 1992, 93.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to see her get a little bit more to the credit than just being Sarah Connor. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great role, but still.
I watched the Arnold documentary on Netflix, and they talked about Linda Hamilton, and she was on the show, and they were talking about. She was like, I wasn't even gonna go to Terminator. But like, who's the hell this Arnold guy? He did Conan or whatever, but who I wasn't gonna go, and then he showed up, and he was like nicest guy around, and I just loved it, and it was the greatest thing ever. So that's my Linda Hamilton story for people. And it's you. Look, you made it.
Yeah. So this is going to be my little heroes. The State of Conventions corner. So first things first, I want to give a shout out to all the subscribers who came up and said hello as well. Like, it was funny because I was staying at the CTC booth and somebody was there turning in books and was just like, "Hey man, I'm a really big fan of the show." Like, look, and people who were like standing slightly like beside me kept looking at me trying to be like, is he somebody famous? Should I know who he is? Because this guy was just like, "Oh man, I really love the show. I watch you guys every week. You guys are one of the few YouTube comedy podcasts that I consistently watch." And I was like, "Yeah, I appreciate it. I just try to make sure I know what the hell I'm talking about, and I hope people appreciate it." But it was so funny though that like those people were just looking like, who is he? Like, is he somebody famous? Should I know him or something like that? Had another guy who I've run into at a couple cons come up and say hello. Like, so yeah, was getting recognized left and right, which is a double-edged sword because if you're getting, I actively had somebody being like, "Oh, Chris," like, because he's basically like, "Oh, you're like the Hulk 181 guy because had you." And I'm actively holding a Hulk 181 trying to negotiate on it. And this guy's like, "Oh, you trying to get another one?" I'm just like, shit. I'm like, oh, fuck me.
Hey, you're gonna get too famous. You know how your security. I know you're a big guy, but you know that security is back away all your fans back there.
Yeah, no, it was funny though. Like I couldn't do anything but laugh about it. But it was like I was actively holding. Like that guy has run into me twice now and done that when I'm actively holding a Hulk 181, trying to negotiate on it. And like, hey, man, you trying to pick up another one? This guy's the Hulk 181 guy. I'm just like, stop, please.
That's funny. The wife was just asking what big con we should go to next year. Like, do we do New York or do I don't know. I don't want to do San Diego. I know that's I don't want to do San Diego. It's just too much for me. Like, I don't want to.
I mean, Heroes is a good one. I mean, the city of Charlotte's a worthwhile city to be.
We loved Charlotte when we went, so maybe go back to Charlotte. Maybe that's what it is.
And I mean, it's good for getting books. Like, that's what I will say. So yeah, I want to shout out to all the attendees who were viewers and fans of the show. I appreciate you all coming up and saying hello. Never hesitate to come do that. I may joke about the Hulk 181 shit, but I still appreciate all of you. So please always come up and say hello to me. Ran into Doc Joe, Sleepy John, Bill Chung was in the building. Dinesh stopped and spoke to him for a little bit. Of course, Chris Claremont, the GOAT. I had to let him know again, how much I appreciated everything that he's contributed to comic books. I'm a diehard X-Men fan, and the Claremont work is the reason why that is the case. Talked to Scotty Young for a little bit. Talked to Ron Friends, Randy Emberlin. Shout out to Sean Goodrich from Golden. Got a chance to talk to him, and also his partner Ashley, who's the head of comic strategy. we may be, having, an opportunity to talk to some folks in the near future. So, we're trying to have, and I warned him, I was like, hey, you guys come on the show. We're not pulling any punches. Like, we're going to ask you if there's been issues at Golden with auctions. We're going to ask you about them. So, and they were more than willing to face the music on that stuff. So I was like, hey, come on and we can have a conversation about it.
We're the Geraldo Rivera of comics, goddammit. We were going to get to the bottom of that joke.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good con to be back again. Because again, I love WonderCon. I love working San Diego, New York, Baltimore, C2E2. They're all cool. But I feel like those are all getting away from being Comic Cons. They are entertainment expos at this point. They are pop culture cons. And so comics have been like relegated to a small back corner so that Marvel can have a booth that's the size of a small city. And I mean, that's cool and it's a great experience, but like, let's not forget the reason why this all started. Like, San Diego Comic-Con was this small hotel like convention back in the 70s. Say what you will about Shelton. Shelton hasn't ever gotten away from that or forgotten where he came from is comics. And so comics are still always going to be the top, priority. I mean, like Jeff DeCall was in the building. Was it Enzo Garza, I think his name is, who did Gut Ghost. I mean, you see, we're standing in front of John Bates. Like you can see his little marker back there. I mean, like a lot of notable names were in the building. Mike Zeck's normally a regular there. Neil Adams used to be a regular there. God rest his soul. Like it is an opportunity for you to go meet creators, both new and old, and have an opportunity to get a book signed, have a quick chat with them. Like the lines weren't so crazy that you couldn't like have a quick 10, 20-minute conversation with these guys. I mean, like I legitimately like this Claremont was just walking through the aisle and I had a double take. I was like, wait a minute, is that Chris Claremont? I stopped negotiating the deal. I was negotiating to walk over and be like, thank you. And may I get a quick picture with you? But yeah, it's that simple. And like these guys aren't running around with security and it's not crazy like that. It's just like you stop somebody, have a quick conversation. But it's a really great con for meeting creators, picking up books. I'll go more into this in the market report or the pickup section. But I mean, a lot of places I was selling books there. So my priority was to move some of my books. And I took about $45,000 worth of books with me to the show, wheeling around basically a BCW hard case on a small hand truck. And I left with basically, I had traded away almost I sold the majority of it. And then what I didn't sell on the last day, I basically turned into trades. And I found a group, shout out to Dangerously Terrific Comics out of Kentucky. These guys were awesome. These guys were, again, I didn't trash Panda, so I had good books, but they were giving me value for value. So it was legitimately like, oh, you got this book that's worth this amount of money. I got this 3 books of equal value. Yeah, sure, we can trade on that. No kicker necessary. And normally that's unheard of. Normally you got to add at least 10% on top of it in trade to make it happen. And these guys were like, no, that makes sense. You're giving us 3 good books and we're taking, you're taking one of ours. It also helped that one of the books that I traded for in that scenario, they had a stack of 6 of them. And yeah, it's a major Bronze Age key, but they had 6 of them. And so they're like, yeah, we don't necessarily need to have one more of these per se than having what you're willing to trade us. And they were reasonable about it. And that's kind of unheard of. I think, this is their eBay story.
I don't think they're on Instagram. I was trying to look on Instagram.
No, they're not on Instagram, but yeah, I think this is them. If that's Kentucky, if this is out of Kentucky, then yeah, I think this is them.
Yeah, it's probably them.
Well, go back to the about with that. I can tell you 100% if it's them, but I think they're.
Oh, I'm not signed in. Hold on 1 second. Oh, someone's away.
No, just click on the about part on that. I think it had some information that's useful.
It's United States.
But no, so this is actually Troy from the group's eBay because I see the ECUR 9832. So that is absolutely them. Okay. These guys are awesome. I told them after.
Yeah, Taylor, Kentucky.
Yeah, so I didn't lead with this whole, I'm going to talk about you on our YouTube show to try and get a better deal. I didn't mention it until the final deal was done. But I was like, you guys are awesome. You guys are what this whole thing, because all 3 of them have regular jobs. So shout out to Brian, Troy, and Daniel. These guys were fun to talk to.
Brian, is he a doctor?
I don't think so.
Is one of them a doc?
One's a teacher, one's a groundskeeper for Kentucky schools, and I don't remember what. I didn't catch what Brian's day job was.
I think he's a physician. I think he went to WVU for med school.
You actually might be right because he was rocking a West Virginia hat.
Yeah. So, okay. Those guys are incredible. I ran into them in Cincinnati. They had a Suspense 5 on their wall, like it was no fucking big deal. Chris isn't exaggerating when he's talking about like, oh, it's a key book. They've got 7 of them. I mean, they're nice and humble and fair. They're fucking incredible. Yeah, I'm super happy you got to meet them.
Yeah, no, and I will definitely be on the lookout for them at other future shows because, like, I mean, it was just a great experience because I was just like, I'd go around and just like, oh, like nobody's really got what I'm looking for. They do, and they were always willing to trade. Like, you know, I came into a book that was something that Brian specifically was a fan of, and we were able to negotiate a cash deal with no question. Like, it wasn't like, you know, he wasn't trying to lowball me or anything crazy. It was just like simple negotiation. We came to numbers that made sense on books, and they bought them either outright or we were able to do trades. And I appreciate people like that because at the end of the day, it's like, this is what makes the hobby fun, is to engage people. You know, everybody feels like they, like, what's the old saying, like with negotiations, like, you know, basically everybody walking away feeling like they got screwed, it means that it was a good negotiation. Well, there can be scenarios where everybody walks away feeling like they won.
Dude, and I think that's the other thing too that you talk about. I always deal with people, right? We all have normal gigs. At least all of us have normal gigs, and it's like those are the guys I want to deal with because it's not their life, it's not their livelihood. You know, I know they got to make money. You got to make money, and like for me, I think I give a fuck. When we do Flipside Comic Con, I'll bring a stack of books and give them away. I don't give a shit. You think it matters to me? Like, you know, it's just for us. It's just about the hobby. You know, it's nothing more, nothing less. I know some people are in it to make money, some people are yada yada yada, but it's like I don't want to say that all dealers because I don't want to generalize, but most dealers who do it professionally just like, you know, I've had my experiences, and we talked about it on the show, of just peddling my little Comic Con around and people tell me to go kick bricks, and now I'm ruining the fucking hobby. So
yeah. No, I also say too that, like, as somebody who did go there with the intent of selling books, and, you know, again, not gonna name names or values, but I was able to sell plenty of books there and not have to go. Honestly, I don't think maybe one time I went above 8. I went to 18% off of market value. I think maybe one time on one book, maybe 20% of market value, just because it, like, you know, I wanted it gone of like a discount. And most people were very reasonable and being like, yeah, that's fair. Like, don't get me wrong, there's definitely guys who are just like, oh, I need to get in. I need to get into that book at like 6. Like, I need to be at 60% of market value, 70% of market value. I was like, at that point, I can just auction on eBay and do better. Like, I'm trying to give you the opportunity to get into a book. And again, I'm not trash fan. I'm bringing worthwhile keys that are all CPC graded and high grade. So it's like, you know, this is stuff that you don't see every day that is worth your time. So don't try and like treat me like I'm some jerk who walked up here with a bunch of like, you know, 9.6s of Valiant books. Like it wasn't that type of scenario.
Well, and obviously we've all known each other for a long time. We're not very flippant about it. Like, you know, we're just cool guys just trying to pass it through. We don't think we're better than everybody else, and we're, you know, like those dudes are like, oh dude, I got this book and I'm the baddest man on the planet. Like, we're just like, yo, this is what we're doing. This is what we got. You take it or leave it kind of guys, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
So cool. What else we got? Market report action. Now I got to bring up my phone while I do this because
that's fine, dude. That's pre-pandemic. He had that fucking book.
Yeah.
I was trying to make a play on it then, and he was like,
Interesting.
It's a nice copy. Anyway, sorry. I'm obsessing here. Privately,
okay. I'm looking, you know, as funny as I'm looking through our notes, somebody posted a Green Lantern. I've been looking at that Green Lantern 12. Somebody has a 2.5 for $2,000.
Doesn't he still have a copy of that book?
I think he sold his. I think.
Son of a bitch.
I know. We're all terrible people.
He legitimately has the worst luck buying and selling comics ever.
Well,
I've never fucking seen anything like it. That book's finally like worth rolling the dice on again. Is gone.
Okay, so go ahead.
Where's Z?
Z has he's doing fatherly duties. He's doing double duty on fathers. Yeah. He said he would show up, but he appreciates the night off. I had to give him the night off. He put in the vacation request. I had to approve it as a good CEO that I am. So, let me see what I'm doing here. He didn't give me good information. That's okay. We're gonna take care of this. This is what I do for a living. Okay, AF-15, 2.5 sold for $24.5. Sales have been up and down, man. So it's you got to keep an eye out because right now 2.0s are selling for 21,000, 2.5s for 25. So it's almost back to $1 a point, or 1,000 a point, I guess you would call it. Highs were almost at 30 grand back in the day. So 23 out of one sale at 30. So it's dipping down. That's a $6 grand hit there, boys. So
yeah. So for context, I sold my 3.0 for 29 to a shop who then turned around and sold it within 5 minutes to somebody who had been looking for one for 32. And that was, so again, market was right around, I think 32 at the time when I sold mine. And this was back during, COVID 2021, early 2022 times. It was the tail end of 2021 because it's when I bought my Nova. Because I used the funds from this to buy my Nova. So yeah, sold mine for 29,000 to a shop and then turned around and sold for 32. So we're not far off. I mean, we're not terrible. If that's the worst of the dip is that now 2.5s are in the 25 grand range, I would be okay with that. Like,
yeah. No, I agree.
To swallow.
Yeah, I agree, dude. It's not like the sky is fucking falling here. I know a lot of other YouTubers think, a Golden Age book sold for, a little bit less. Is the comic book? It's not Chicken Little over here. We're, it's a market correction. It's not the end of the world. Albedo 2, 7.0 sold for $3 grand. Now he did put notes that this seems like it's in decent range still. I mean, it's not seems in range with what they're selling for before. So last it was like 2,800, 2,631, and then in 2018 it was 4,000 to 1,775. So I mean, it's settling in. I think it's going to settle in around probably 2,800 probably when it's all said and done, I would assume. We're there. This is a ASM 129 Punisher French Canadian edition. Strong price as most found are removed from the bound editions. So 611, he thinks it's a great price for this. That's cool. I like it. I think it's cool. I mean, I don't know if I pay $611, but it's cool. But I like it. I can dig it. What else is it? Okay. Batman 635. The sky is falling on this book. This was a huge book back in the day. Now it's pennies. Everybody was looking for first. Now it's
Isn't there a new cartoon that came out? Red Hood cartoon on HBO.
Good question.
I'm not so good at that kind of stuff. I just had my girlfriend is trying to learn comics in an effort to
appease you.
Basically, God bless her. I'm really excited about it. But anyway, she watched it, and I presume she watched it because it came up on it certainly didn't come up on shit that she would like, right?
Yeah.
So I presume it was on this is new, and then she clicked on it.
It was a development. Red Movie was in development back in 21, but I don't think it ever.
Yeah, the animated Red Hood one. That's the thing with HBO Max. If you watch one of those DC animated films,
Super Sons cartoon. That's what it was.
Okay, cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I remember selling this for $500 and going, "Oh my gosh, maybe I undersold it. Oh no."
I didn't add this to the market report. I tried to build on it. Nico's gonna hate me on this. You remember that Silver Surfer 5 Black Edition that was in the Walmart packs back in the day? 1 in 500 Torquay variant or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
One was auctioned off and I fucking bid like 165. It wasn't a 9.8. It fucking had color up on the front of it. And it went for 170 or something. It's just stupid. But anyways. Batman Returns, signed by Michael Keaton. Now this is an 8.0 and it sold for $1,200.
So how much was Keaton's signature at the thing?
That is a good question.
Keaton's signs, yeah. It says, look. It looks like now. This is what it costs. Keaton's sign stuff is like near 1,000 plus value add to many books now.
Gee.
So that's better than Stan Lee. So we can look. Let me go through the old autograph. Autograph. $275 back in the day. 2019. Cool. Alamo City Comic Con back in the day. I don't know if this was signed back then. Look.
I mean, that's still pretty reasonable.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing from 2019, $250 for a signature on a comic with that would be, yes, I mean, $250, that's not bad to have an 8.0. Because let's be real about it, like this Batman Returns prestige book was pretty damn common.
Yep, there's a 9.8 right now that's like $3,000, so it seems like not out of the ballpark. This was signed. Did not say signed by Michael Keaton at 19, so that's got to be Alamo.
Yep,
that's in 19.
So yeah,
not the greatest signature. I'm not gonna lie. Little bat, is that a bat? Did he make it into a Batman kind of thing? I guess. I guess not. Interesting. It kind of looks like a Batman kind of thing, but interesting.
I feel like this would definitely have done. I mean, it's still good money, but I think it would have done better on the Batman original motion picture comic that was like that they had
Jack Nicholson. And,
yeah, I think that's the one that I think because that's the first appearance of Keaton's Batman in comic book form. So if that matters to you, I think that would have been more of the book time. Also, I think it's just the prestige copy just has a better cover.
And it's this one, just so everybody can.
Yep, that guy.
This one sold for $5,000 back in the day, just so everybody knows it's 9.82. Kind of signed in a shitty spot over Nicholson. I would have put it down here in the corner, but that's just me. Maybe he didn't have a chance to. Yeah. Doing deep dives here. I like it. The book we always show off every fucking thing. He's obsessed with it now. I think he wants one super secretly. John Z. Breaking Bad #1, 611, signed by a lot of people. So, this was an AMC giveaway, I think.
Everybody except for Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
And what's his face? The guy who played Jesse.
Yeah. This is a book. I named it Communist, but it's not Communist. It's a French Canadian Comics Is This Tomorrow book. So this sold for $791. It is. Let me double check here. Just make sure you didn't. Is This Tomorrow? I knew of 3 variations, standard 10-cent covers. U.S. with the price faded out, then the Canadian with the hand, and then the French Canadian is a surprise. So this is a surprise one that he's never seen. And as I do my thing, right? Boom! There's all 3 of them. So obviously you see the 10-cent in the right corner, the one without it, and then the French Canadian right here. So if you're ever on the lookout, gotta find these boys. Just dropping knowledge for everybody. I had one of these in a 9.8. I sold it for probably this much way back in the day. DC Superstars 11, hard book to get. It's square bound, just like a GSX1. Hard to press, hard to do all that shit. Mr. Leg will tell you the same because he pressed it for us. $511 for 9.6 isn't a bad deal. I hate to say it. Not too many. I didn't look at the census numbers, but it's pretty low. I'll tell you that. I think there's only like a couple 9.8s. Yeah, a couple 9.8s. DC Presents 47, $1,100. We'll see what happens in the future when this book comes out. Obviously with Gunn taking over, does He-Man, I haven't seen this book before. You guys know about this? Little last issue, Dave Stevens cover, DNA Agents 24, 9.8 sold for $321.
It pops up when it does pop up, it always sells well. So that's my knowledge of this book. Is other people always kind of reposting it, being like it moves well.
I got a little Nintendo Power Action strategy guide. Super Mario Brothers 3, $310 for a 9.0. Wow. I probably had this back in the day too, and I think that when you maybe with Super Mario Brothers 1, the levels flipped out maybe because they were so fucking long. But different. The book I have, which is not on this, but still have one. Is Patsy Walker 26 and a Vine VF only sold for $232, which makes me cry because my book's not that good. So I should have bought this book. I didn't see it.
So that's a good price for that.
Oh, dude, knocked it out of the park, man.
Okay.
I mean, for 19 whatever, what is it, George? 1950 something like.
Yeah. So remember, there's an homage cover to
The Lindsay Lohan style cover.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the other book. It's been a long day. I'm about out of it, boys. I apologize for not being more helpful.
You're a terrible person.
It's a fucking incredible book and an incredible grade.
The Hellcat one. Yeah.
There's too many people are too desperate to try to fucking like get pandemic prices. There's just steals to be had if you've got some cash to, be patient and look for steals and put shit away. It's a great time to be buying comics.
Yeah, this is just so everybody can. This is what I do for a living. Bam.
Yeah, there you go.
So Patsy Walker, Hellcat, yeah, number 7 is the homage to the book. So, yeah. What else we got here? Shadow Comics number 11, pre-code horror, cool book, $7.87. Yep.
Damn.
Yep. Cool cover, skeletons, all the cool shit that you like to see. Shadow in the back, obviously. So
yeah, there's people been dropping some awesome Shadow books that you just like never see ever.
Yep.
In the last couple of weeks.
I got this just so we can always make an appearance, and because obviously Spider-Verse just dropped. Spider-Man $20.99, the hottest book there for like a minute. $405 for a 9.8, and it's not a newsstand, so I mean, whatever that means. So,
I mean, that's still good money if you think about that. This was,
a lot of printed.
Yeah, I mean, it was a dollar bill book for years.
Carter watched me buy a short box of these for $1 a piece. Do you remember that?
You bought a lot, but that seems like something you would do, and that seems like something I would see you do.
Oh wow!
All right, he's like, I don't want any part of it. They're all gone. Every one of them's gone.
Oh boy! This book we have a little Thrawn Matina variant, 9.6, $898. Wow. I think that seems high to me. I thought 9.8s were like 1,000, but I don't know anymore. Crazy stuff. And last but not least, Ultimate Spider-Man 1, signed by Stan Lee, $1,000 for the white variant. So,
I remember I first got back into comics forever ago.
Yeah.
Before the last time I got out of comics, forever ago, was when Ultimate Spider-Man was hitting shelves and people were going fucking bananas over that story. I presume we'll see that on the big screen.
I mean, you would hope so, I guess. I mean, we talked about
Peter Parker. Tom Holland is fucking dead.
Wow.
He just doesn't know it yet. It's just, I mean, look at you guys shaking your heads at me.
I mean,
yeah,
he's getting paid.
But he's still gonna die in Marvel Comics. You wait, they're gonna be like, "Hello, Miles Morales, how you doing?"
That's all I got. I don't know. Is that a Dynamic Forces variant? Sure.
No, it's just a regular variant.
Yeah, Mike. Why don't you know this, Mike? I got pickups. We can go into pickups real quick.
George, stick around. I want to show you something real quick.
Hey, who called my fucking office the teacher's lounge? What the fuck?
Oh, that shit is hilarious, dude.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like.
It looks like it.
Yeah, honestly, it does.
I'm expecting. I'm like, where's the blackboard?
Ouch. I feel attacked.
Hey, maybe you should get a decorator in that fucking thing.
Oh God.
Modernize action. Jesus Christ. Anyways,
can you hear the funniest part?
What's that?
Literally, I just moved into the only furnished office because I had so many deadlines immediately. I was like, this one's mine. We furnished every place but this one.
Yeah, we can tell.
Like, the refer to. Yeah, thanks.
We can tell. So check this out. I forgot I bought this book, and I'm a terrible human being. Oh, see, look at TJ. TJ giving you some props.
Stud.
Look at that fucking guy. I gotta.
Nobody watches the show anymore. I wonder if TJ will feel comfortable enough to come on here and fucking browbeat the rest of us with his superior comic knowledge.
I mean, TJ is the man. I always tell him he's always invited. So my thing is, I kept getting Izzy Comics delivery notifications for like a book, and I'm like, what the fuck did I buy? Look at I bought. My wife goes, why the fuck is this in our house? She hates LeBron James. So I bought a famed LeBron James #1. This is when he broke the point record, and they came out with this fucking thing, and I bought it for like $40 or some shit. I don't know. I got it graded because I'm an asshole. Do I put LeBron James in the Hall of Comics back there? We'll find out.
Probably not.
Yeah, maybe at the back like this. DVD just like
Maybe. I like the back a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's a really nice back cover, which I'm surprised about. But no, so nothing. I mean, it was great. I wasn't shitting on Izzy Comics. The emails were great. They told me when tracking was happening and stuff like that. So that's all I really have. Oh, I picked up cards. You guys want to see some cards? Because I'm an asshole and I picked up cards.
Sure.
Somebody gave me a collection. I'm not going to go through them all, but
you know you're in trouble when you're pulling out fucking pages of cards.
Yeah, I know. It's worse than your Facebook Marketplace deal that you had a couple years ago.
Yeah,
little Michael Jordan cards. There's no rookies or anything like that, but stuff from the '90s and stuff, worthless stuff that I thought was cool.
Is the Beam Team in there?
I don't know, dude. There's a bunch of shit in here. There's like '90s stuff.
My fucking Facebook deal.
Yeah. Remember? No, you were like, I had these cards since I was a kid, and it was like shitty cards that were worth nothing.
They were terrible.
Oh, boy.
Art took all my cards.
Yeah. No, we want you on here. Hang out and talk to people. There was a bunch of cards. I went through them all. Actually, I got a bunch of Aliens comics, too, that weren't worth anything, but that's okay.
There's a Netflix Alien show coming on. I got locked out of my Netflix because I logged into it at my girlfriend's house. And I'm the only person in the United States of America that doesn't watch enough of the fucking news to realize that's the way to get locked out of Netflix forever.
You got pinched.
Yes, I'm fucked. But I will buy a second Netflix account just so I can watch the Aliens TV show as long as somebody tells me when it's coming out.
So I want to say it's not going to be on Netflix. I want to say it's Fox. So it's going to be on Hulu, I believe.
Good.
Look, I got shit in Ziploc bags, so that's what kind of savage I was. Yeah, so aliens, predators, shit, nobody cares about. So I'm going back. So you guys, since Nick George is on, maybe you can talk about this. I'm getting posters this weekend or next weekend. The Crawl. Have anybody heard about that from a 1983 film? Let's talk about that for a minute.
I'm familiar with it. It's
yeah. The Crawl. This shit.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck?
I got posters coming. I don't know if it's signed or not. I got 3 poster tubes with a bunch of posters from this shit that I saw.
You're a fucking maniac.
I know, and I got comic books, a stack of comic books that I haven't seen. So, yes, we were at Heroes Con. Mr. Colbert was there with some of the other boys from the channel you've seen previously on Doc Joe, Sleepy John. Original movie. I don't know if the original movie posters. I don't know. I'll bring them next week, and you guys will probably think I'm a fucking idiot when I buy these things or get these things, but just shit like that. So,
did he have a sealed tape?
Negative.
Well, what's the point?
I just, it's a family friend. Somebody passed away. They don't know what to do with it.
Don't be buying they shit just to do them a favor. Make sure you get something out of it.
I got it. Okay, so I won't say I'm buying it. I got it for free, but I just.
All right, that's good.
I'm just a nice guy. It could be.
Don't be on that
bullshit. Was on HBO nonstop in the '80s. I wasn't live, so I don't. So, maybe it was good shit. Okay. Okay, who wants to go next? Chris, you want to go since you got?
Sure.
My man. Let's see the crazy shit.
Not a lot, but like some decent stuff. So the first stack of pickups are from my local LCS. They got some stuff in, so we got a little Wolverine 1 action.
That's the book that George, you went Spider 29.99 on. I went on that book. I had like 40 of them at one point.
Nice.
Again, I grab this every time I see it just because I love it. The Predator. So again, we're talking about Aliens and Predators. So there you go. This book that I've never owned, nor have I ever seen it out in the wild before. Transmetropolitan #1.
Oh wow, that's dope.
Yeah,
Smart.
I mean, it's by no means like, I mean, it's maybe a 9.0 best case scenario, but it's like I've never seen it before, so I definitely have to grab it. Never a bad idea to have a Sandman, 8 in the collection. Then for stuff I picked up at the con, just to support this one group that they didn't have a whole lot of stuff I was looking for, but San Diego's coming up, so grabbed a Void Ride with blank cover. Maybe Kirkman will be in a good mood when he's doing signings, and I can get him to throw a little something weird on the front.
I got to send you my books too, so we got to talk about that too.
All right, definitely.
Void Rivals. That tells you how disassociated I am from the fucking comic market.
So Kirkman, Skybound has the G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Oh, that's what they're calling it. I saw that news.
Yeah, so that book was like surprise launch. Is basically it's a Transformers book, or it's got Transformers involved in it, and nobody knew it was happening. And it coincided perfectly with the drop of the Transformers new movie, which, spoiler alert, the movie ends with one of the human who is friends with Transformers being recruited into G.I. Joe. So the next movie we probably will get in live action will be a Transformers G.I. Joe movie. So Kirkman was ready to go with, pushing an extended universe of where Transformers and G.I. Joe are together under the Skybound imprint.
Nice.
So we got a little New Mutants action. So these are Heroes Con pickups. So we got a little New Mutants action. I can't ever seem to get away from this book. So 252 in newsstand. A little Spider-Verse action. Here, I'll go with this one. So again, this was a value for value trade because why the hell not? And the piece de resistance. So again, to say that people aren't willing to trade Bronze Age keys for you give me 3 books, I give you 1 book, and she's pretty damn clean. I mean, the spine on it is basically perfect. There is a bend up here in the corner. Doc Joe took a look at it and he was like, oh, it'd probably be hard for it to break a 9.0. I have had uglier copies break 9.0. So, and for what I traded away for it, if it doesn't, I'm okay with that. But yeah, I think this thing's got a solid chance at least a 9, maybe a 9.2 if the greatest feeling, is having a good day. But again, that was again, shout out to Dangerously Terrific because they were willing to trade me books for me to leave with arguably the best looking raw Hulk 181 in the entire building. So
nice.
That's it.
Carter, anything?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you.
Well, in honor of Mikey, this was this tape here was the last thing that he commented on.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Class Reunion Massacre.
Sick.
From 85. It's actually a movie from 77 that got repackaged.
Box. Jesus.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that I'm just like, is it like a factory seal? And he said that it looks pretty good. So I was like, all right, sweet. So we got a sealed big box Betamax. So we got to find a grading company that can handle this.
Maybe Rewind Grading Company.
I don't know. Like every box that I see, like every one of those like holders or whatever, they're kind of small. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Well, you get one of your toy companies to do it.
Like shoot.
Yes.
AFA or something like that. Yeah.
Somebody got a big old box.
Tape grader.
Fifth graders.
I know CGC aren't doing these yet. So.
Oh, I'm sure not. Yeah. So TJ, you need to watch it, man.
Class Reunion Massacre. It was originally called The Redeemer, Son of Satan.
Ooh.
It was made in 1977, but then it got repackaged in 1985.
George, did you steal these students' comics? You got anything in the boxes in the back?
The Guidance Hall's Pet Cemetery or something? Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
Well, George, it's always a pleasure for you to come on. We appreciate it. I appreciate the love and the.
For my absence, I look forward to a time when my life is conducive to having like normal human activities and joy again. But for the time, I'm just gonna sit in the teacher's lounge and beat my head against the wall.
Well, that's fine. I mean, yeah. I didn't talk about it, but I'm an asshole, so I'll bring it up every time. Come to Flipside Comic Con August 26th, 2023, out in Milford, Michigan. We're still looking for a couple vendors here and there. I might set up myself because that's what type of dude I am. I don't know. You see the glorious of the maybe I'll wear the red jacket too. We'll see. And the gold chain out there. If you guys hang out, we'll do 50/50s. I got door prizes up the wazoo. I can bring stuff. I'm not really worried about it. Hell, I don't even care. Come out like Chris said. SDCC started in like a bottom of a basement hotel room kind of thing. Maybe this. I'm not saying this will be SDCC, but it'll be a nice gathering of people. Hopefully. So.
Is Dennis gonna wear pajama pants?
I hope so.
Me too.
I hope so. So, he said that he is going to try to schedule a warehouse. You guys want to go to the warehouse again? Either today or something. So
I've never been there before.
It's great. It's a great time.
I'd like to just like buy toys there.
He has a ton of them.
I mean, I've never done that before.
Yeah, Carter saw it. He was there.
Yeah.
It's massive. Yes. So he wants to have the guys come out the next day on Sunday, maybe. And
I've been so like removed from collectibles that I literally had shit in the most recent Heritage auction. I didn't even look at it. I don't know if it's fucking over. I don't know. I don't know anything. It's real life.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you got students to teach.
It's not just the people who are kind enough to join us week in, week out that I've ignored. It's my own personal finances, family, friends, loved ones. Just basically everybody but the clients I have that I'm contractually obligated to assist.
Yeah.
Dude, you haven't been here since the Heritage auction.
No.
And the Superman tape sale.
Right.
I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, bring it up, dude.
I don't know if
I don't care.
know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you get the check yet?
Yeah, I got a check.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did 40 racks on a VCR tape.
So he sold a sealed big box
TJ
Superman
that TJ sold me. And for $1,000. He sent me a picture. He was like, "What's this?" And I was like, "Fucking get out of the store with it right now." And then he brought it home and we couldn't figure out if it was real or not. He's like, "There's no fucking way it's real." I was like, "Dude, fuck this. I'll roll the dice." And I spent $1,000 on it. Now, up until the auction actually like started, and Carter, did you watch it live?
I tried to, but I was kind of like tracking the progress.
Like Pablo and Mikey, right? And when I say that it was a lackluster showing for tapes, I mean, there were two tapes that did well. One was my Deadpool and the other was that fucking Superman. So, I mean, it was just a horrible fucking showing. Like, someone got my American Psycho screener for like, I don't remember, $200, $300, $400. It's the only copy I've ever seen. I was just like, motherfucker. I mean, I was just like heartbroken by all of it. So when the Superman starts to go and like it's just ticking up, I'm literally like jumping around, like dancing like a child, like with fucking joy, like hopping around. And I'm on the phone with my girlfriend. She's like, "What the fuck is happening?" I'm like, "I have no idea." It was the happiest I've ever been in my entire life.
Was it this one?
Yeah, that was yeah. That is
$100.
That is not a screener.
It's not.
Oh, is it open?
It's open.
Yeah. Oh, it's open. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll take that right now. Don't fuck with me. But
Oh boy.
I don't even think that was the demo screener. The demo screener doesn't have a UPC symbol on the back.
Right.
But anyway, the nice part about tapes is that nobody fucking has any idea about them at all. The only place to really learn about them is this like oral history, which you get for free on tape heads. And I've never had returns like that on anything in my entire life.
We need to have an honorary tape heads if it's the last one. We need to have one for Mikey. So I'm gonna put Carter. You're gonna be the conjurer of that in that chat. Hopefully we can bring one out of people.
It won't be the last one.
I don't know. I mean, I hear people's girlfriends have things to do now and they're busy. And
I've ruined Maya's life too.
I know. So it's fine.
Jump Store Baby is my girlfriend. I think you guys all know that, right? Yeah. But she was my paralegal before we started dating. I like changed firms and then basically was like, hello, can we go on a date? But anyway, so now that I'm at a new firm, my firm, I just moved her in, and she was always the best paralegal I ever worked with. So yeah, sorry about that. I sort of stole her from YouTube also in an effort to
corner the market. You're damaging the reputation and the sanctity of this channel by not having more than one show up.
I'm making incredible money for my clients, and
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you just split it with me.
Well, hopefully here, once things I start to, tighten up the caseload, I can have some normal adult time with my friends, talking about things that are actually fun and enjoyable, as opposed to my fucking online therapy session about being overworked.
That's fine.
By the way,
to buy anymore.
By the way, Class Reunion Massacre, the kills are solid. It's cheap as hell. Like it's low budget, but the chicks are smoking hot.
How much did you pay for it
in this movie?
Yeah. How much you pay for it?
$65.
Jesus Christ!
Did Prim's Hood Cinema do one on that?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
No.
You like that?
Are you buying anything other than comics?
I'm going for
Colbert buying anything other than comics?
No, not really at the moment. I've been focusing more so on spending out money to work on my Nova, so that's been more the priority than anything else.
What year?
68.
Woo! Yeah. Lord, that's a nice car.
Yeah, it's getting a complete overhaul. Like, we're going aftermarket chassis, engine swap, T56 transmission swap, like the whole nine. So yeah, I'm like, sell books so I don't come out my own pocket for these actions.
Before we stop, does anybody know the status of the Jonathan Majors prosecution? I mean, does it look like he's going to walk from that? Is he fucked? I mean, like, what happened? No attention whatsoever.
So I think in New York, you don't if somebody calls the cops, like it's automatically going to go to a criminal prosecution. So he's been arraigned and given a not guilty plea, and now we're just waiting for official trial date and things like that. Because speedy trial in New York don't necessarily mean fast. So yeah, I mean, I think
where's Cochran when we need him?
Yeah, I honestly think Marvel Disney is playing this one as a we'll wait and see type scenario, but I just don't think. And I was talking to my partner about this. She was like, "Well, Ezra Miller, like the difference is." I was like, "Well, we're not going to immediately jump to the difference is that thing," but also the fact she was like, "Well, Jonathan Majors put his hands on on a woman." And I was just like, "So did Ezra Miller multiple times. Like he definitely choked a fan in like Sweden, hit a chick with a chair in like Hawaii. Like he definitely also put his hands on women multiple times. Somehow still had a job." And they are still questioning whether or not they're going to terminate him and go with a new Flash.
Well, I mean, but why are they convinced that he actually hit? Was it his romantic partner?
Yes, because it was just like the recant definitely sounded like somebody who had been beaten and like bullied into like coming out with a oh no, it didn't happen that way type of story. She was marked up, like there were visible marks on her when the police showed up. So it's I mean, yeah, she could absolutely be, the scenario where I'm going to ruin your life, so I'm going to run myself into a wall and scratch myself up. It doesn't help that he apparently had this was not something that was apparently again just what's the rumor mill of the New York theater scene and the Yale theater scene where he got his MFA. That he was kind of a shitbag back then, apparently, and in those scenes, but he was the rising star and nobody wanted to cross him, so it never got mentioned ever. So signs are pointing towards he's got a history of this.
What was the HBO show? Remember the HBO show he had? They got canceled.
Lovecraft Country, yeah, it was amazing.
It's been fucking downhill since Lovecraft Country.
I mean, you weren't around when we talked about Tenoch Huerta and him, getting a sexual assault allegation against him. Like it is not a good look right now over at
the Submariners. Yeah. Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's just not a good look right now, man. Like, and my partner, she's just like, Jesus, who can we root for at this point? And I was just like, honestly, I don't even know. I don't know.
James Gunn. That's who we're rooting for.
Yeah. At least he owned it. He was like, yeah, I made some really inappropriate jokes on Twitter back in the day, but I was also broke, so broke people do stupid shit.
Cool. All right, we'll see everybody next Monday. Same place, same time, hopefully. Hopefully, same people. Maybe he'll show up for 2 days in a row.
Yeah. I don't know my calendar, but hopefully.
Yeah, I'll book it. I'll make sure I send you an email. I'll email your paralegal. Maybe she'll give me good notes. So we'll catch y'all later. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to everybody later. So deuces. See you guys.